again. 9th page, 10th page also are very important. But then we will do it later. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritam Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Page number 8, MULAVIDYA-NIRASA. Astuva Kathanchit Nityatve Paurushayatve Cha Adinam Avipratipatti. Let us say there is no difference between the two people, Siddhanti and Purvapakshi, regarding the Nityatva of a Upanishad. But they both accept, Siddhanti, both the A and B accept, two people are arguing, let us say, and both of them accept the Vaidika Vedanta Pramanyam, the validity of Vedanta. They both accept the validity of Vedanta. They accept there is no difference of opinion regarding the Apaurushayatvam, means that the Shastra is not written by a human hand. Even though the letters, the language is maybe can be traced to the time, can have a time beginning, but the Atma has no time, it is timeless. Atma is the topic, and therefore the topic is endless, the topic is timeless. And therefore that topic is the topic of Vedanta, and therefore the Vedanta is also eternal. And it is not written by a human hand. And it is always, and it is validity. That it is valid is known to us. Vedanta is available. The topic is available, and it's being valid is available. It is always said that it is valid, and it is also not written by a human hand. This is also known to us. If there is an Anyonyashraya, if there were Anyonyashraya means mutual dependence, then there should be no Vedanta available. There should be no Vedanta available, and we should not have the knowledge of the eternity. That the change itself shows that you are free from the changeless. The one who is aware of the change is free from the changes. Otherwise, you cannot see the change. In order to, the one who sees the change is changeless, and that he knows very well. And therefore, Vedanta is available, and the eternity is also available. Apaurushayatvam also is available, and therefore there is no mutual dependency. Mutual dependency is a flaw, is a defect in human thinking. It's not available in any creation. If you say the eyes are dependent upon the forms, if there is a mutual dependency between the eyes and the forms, between the senses and the sense objects, then there should be neither senses nor sense objects. There should be only Nirakaram. But then they are available, the senses are available, the sense objects are available, and therefore there is no mutual dependence. And therefore mutual dependency is there only in human thinking. All doshas are there only in human thinking. But in actuality, in God's creation, in the universe, there is no defect at all. If you say there is a dosha, if you say that between the Jagat Karanam and the Jagat there is a mutual defect, then there is no mutual defect, please. And both of them are there. The Vedanta talks about Jagat Karanam, and the Jagat is available in our universe, in our perception. And therefore, there is no mutual dependency between Paramatma and Jagat Karanam and the Jagat. And then just as there is no mutual dependence between the senses and the sense objects, between the Paramatma and the Jagat also, there is no mutual dependence. The mutual dependence is there only in human thinking. There is a defect. Mutual dependency is a defect, dosha. Like dosha means contradiction is a dosha, is a flaw, and anavastha is a dosha, and mutual anyonyashaya is a dosha, and therefore karakarana bhava also is a dosha. Is a karakarana bhava. If you say the karanam has also must have a karyam, that is anavastha. The source must have a source also. That is anavastha, is a dosha in human thinking. But not that the source has a source. The source of everything cannot have a source. The source of everything cannot have a source. That is Parameshwara. The source of everything cannot have a source. Who created Parameshwara? In this manner, you can't ask. That is only in thinking, and therefore there is no mutual dependency. Even if there is no disagreement between two individuals, tathapi paramartha vastu tattva vishay, in the matter of the nature of the paramartha tattva. Paramartha tattva means what is the nature of the topic of the Vedanta. The topic of Vedanta in that matter, in the matter of what is the Paramartha tattva, what is the Paramartha tattva, what is the Paramartha tattva means what is the topic of Vedanta, what is the nature of the topic of Vedanta. Is it Dvaitam, Visishtadvaitam, or Advaitam? In this matter, in this manner, one can have a doubt. Regarding that doubt, तथापि परमार्थ वस्तु तत्व विषये विवदमानयोः, and both of them argue katankaram, how nirnayah tavata iti vaktavayam. How can there be any nirnayah? How can there be any nirnayah? Whether it is advaitam or dvaitam or visishtadvaitam, you cannot really, it is not possible to determine which is the truth. Why? Because it's not a determined. That is exactly what is to be done. That is what to determine is the nature of reflection. Nanu uktam shruti sammata pakshasya sadhutvam. But we have already seen, the Purvapakshi says, I have already said that the one who takes the paksha of the shastram is a sadhu, is right. That cannot be said. That tadayuktam. That is not logical. Just because he takes the stand, everybody takes the stand. He takes the stand, and I take both of them takes the stand of Vedanta Pramanam. Vedanta is the Pramanam. Both of them think that the Vedanta is the Pramanam. But still, when it comes to the nature of the truth, Ramanujacharya also swears by Vedanta Pramanam. Madhvacharya also swears by Vedanta Pramanam. And therefore, when it comes to what is Advaita, is it Advaitam that is the topic of Vedanta? Is it Visishtadvaitam? Is it Dvaitam that is the topic of Vedanta? When it comes to that, then then you need to determine what is what. And there is nobody to determine. And you can't determine it. It's a Vaktavim. Nanu Uktam Samat Sadhutvam na tadyuktam nirdharana bhavat. Because it is not a determined. Because it is not yet determined, you can't take the stand. Nirdharana bhavat means because there is no determination as to what is the topic, and therefore ayameva श्रुतिमतः सम्मतः पक्षः इति निर्धारिते हि तदुत्तरीत्या निर्णयः प्रकल्प्यते. This alone is the nirnaya. This alone is the nirnaya. If it is clear, then whatever you say is right. Dvaitam, Advaitam, Visishtadvaitam, this has to be determined first. In order to determine, without determining it, you can't know. They both will be fighting. The A and B will be fighting. The two arguers will be fighting. And that one person says the Advaitam is right, another person says Dvaitam is right, another person says Vishtadvaitam is right. In this manner, all of them swear by Vedanta, and therefore regarding the topic, the nature of the topic of Vedanta, there will be a doubt, and therefore nanu uktam ayameva श्रुति सम्मत पक्षः इति निर्धारिते तदुत्तरत्वे नियतिः निर्णयः प्रकल्प्यते यदा तु विचिकित्स्यते when there is a doubt between them अनयोः श्रुत्यभिमतः इति कदा को व्यवस्थापकः प्रसज्येत उभयसम्मतः, and therefore when there is a doubt, who is going to decide between them what is right? Is it Dvaitam or Advaitam or Visishtadvaitam? Is it Dvaitam or Advaitam or Visishtadvaitam? Who is going to ka vyavasthapaka, ko vyavasthapaka? Who is going to be the mediator? Vyavasthapaka means the vyavastha karne wala, the one who is the mediator. Who is going to be the mediator? Who is going to mediate in the matter? And how can we determine what is the nature of the topic of Vedanta? Because Advaitis swear by Vedanta, Dvaitis also swear by Vedanta, and Visishtadvaitis also swear by Vedanta. And therefore you can't determine, unless it is determined, you can't know which is right, which is wrong. It has to be determined. In order to determine it, you have to know the whole Vedanta. It all depends upon, you have to determine logically and correctly. यदा तु विचिकित्स्यते कतरः अनयोः श्रुत्यभिमतः इति तदा को व्यवस्थापकः प्रसिद्ध्येद उभयसम्मतः अत एव हि औपनिषदपक्षम् अवलम्बनम् अंगीकुर्वाणैरेव. Even those who swear by Vedanta, like Shankara, like Shankara, Bhaskara, Srikantha, Ramanuja, Vijnana Bhikshu, Madhva, Vallabha, Baladeva, प्रभृतिभिः आदृतानि प्रस्थानानि अवष्टभ्य तद् अन्वयाभिः तत्त्वविषये युज्यते. Even today the followers of Shankara, Bhaskara, Srikanta, Ramanuja, Madhva, Vijnana Bhikshu, Madhva, Vallabha, Baladeva, all of them, even though they all swear by Vedanta, the followers of these people swear by Vedanta, but they are found to fight among themselves. When it comes to the truth, the followers keep fighting them, keep fighting with one another, They have difference of opinion, and therefore, even though they all swear by Vedanta, प्रभृतिभिः आदृतानि प्रस्थानानि अवष्टभ्य तस्य अनुयायिभिः अद्यापि, even today, तत्त्वविषये युज्यते. Vyujite means they keep fighting. They are seen to be fighting among themselves as to what is the topic of Vedanta. Some swear by Vedanta. All of them swear by Vedanta. But then Vedanta is not the same. Even though Vedanta is the same, but their thinking about Vedanta is different. They think that the topic of Vedanta is Dvaitam. The topic of Vedanta is only Advaita, Visishtadvaitam. In this manner, they say. Tattva Vishay Vidyate. Tatra Yesham Katamaha Aupanishadaha Pakshaha Ityatra Ka Sambhavyata Pradvivakaha. Which scholar can say, which scholar is possible to Ka Sambhavyata Pradvivaka? Which scholar can say Pakshaha iti? What is the topic of Vedanta? Who is going to decide? Which scholar is going to decide? Which scholar is going to decide? Which scholar is going to decide as to what is the nature of the what is the topic of the Vedanta? Even though you all swear by Vedanta, but when it comes to the topic of Vedanta, some believe that it is Dvaitam, some believe that it is Advaitam, some take it as Visishtadvaitam. In this manner, all of them swear by Vedanta only. Regarding in the first sentence itself, we have seen that, let us say that they all accept that Vedanta is the Pramana. Both of A and B both accept, Siddhanti and Purvapaksha both accept Vedanta as the Pramana. There is no difference of opinion when it comes to Vedanta. अवष्टभ्य तत्त्वानुयायिभिः अद्यपि तत्त्वविषये युज्यते. Tatra yesham katamaha Upanishad Paksha, which is the Upanishad Paksha, which is what is the topic of Vedanta. Even today, they can't, which scholar, no scholar can determine. And therefore, no scholar can determine. And therefore, apicha, yesham tirtakaranam. These people themselves, tirtakara means tirtankara. Tirthankara means these founders of various schools, Shankara, Bhaskara, Srikanta, Ramanuja, Vijnana Bhikshu, Madhva, Vallabha, Baladeva, any person who teaches is called Tirthakara. Tirthakara means the teachers. The one who teaches swears by Vedanta and teaches Vedanta. He is called Tirthakara. Tirthakara means he makes you sacred. Tirthakaraha. Apicha yesham tirthakaranam. I am this alone. What do we know? What do we know? What do we know about what they think? We don't know what they think. And therefore, what does Shankara thought? What did Shankara think? And what did Ramanujacharya think? What did Madhva think? We don't know. We can't enter their minds and then decide as to why did they say. They swore by Vedanta and yet they fell upon they fell apart from each other. They were different from in their conclusions. One said, one talked about Advaitam, another talked about Vishishtadvaitam, another talked about Dvaitam. In this manner they talked about why, but you can't know what do they think. And therefore तीर्थकराणामेव अयमेव अभिप्रायः इति निस्संशयं, without any doubt, निश्चयतः को अभ्युपगम्यताम्. Who can ever come to know what they thought? Who can ever come to know what they thought? And therefore, nobody can ever know. Nobody can ever know. Nobody can ever know what they thought. What they thought. यावत् तद्विनयेष्वेव भूयसी प्रतिपत्तिः विद्यते. Even among their followers, there is a lot of disagreement among their followers, whether it is followers of Advaitam, whether it is followers of Advaitam or Vishishta Advaitam. They fight they fight among themselves, and therefore the followers are more vociferous than the Siddhantis, then the teachers, than the teachers. The teachers speak very slowly, but then the followers become very vociferous. They are very loud in thinking, very loud in talking, very loud in talking, and they loudly argue. निश्चयं स्वयं निश्चेत को अभ्युपगम यावत् तद्विनयेष्वेव भूयसी प्रतिपत्तिर्विद्यते इति न अविदितमेव वेदम्. This is not unknown. This is not unknown to people. This is not unknown to people who read Siddhantalesh Sangraha Parishilinam. Sangrahadi Granda Parishilinam. Siddhantalesh Sangraha. Siddhantalesh Sangraha, in that the various fights are there. The Advaitam is there. Those who read Siddhantalesh Sangraha, they know very well that these people, the followers of Advaitam, the followers of Vishishtadvaitam, the followers of Advaitam, how they fight among themselves. This is very well known. Therefore, na bhavitum grantha parishilinam, nacha vachyam, nor can it be said, Shruti tatparyam yavata, Pushmat vairupyat na anyatha bhavitum arhati. Vairupyata. Vairupya means Virupa. Virupa means just because you think wrongly, the fact doesn't change. The fact remains the same. And all teachers swear by Vedanta, and all teachers follow the Sadlingas. Because Sadlingas everybody has to accept, because Sadlingas are the ones which determine. You don't have to subjectively determine. You don't have to use your likes and dislikes. You use your Shadlingas. Upakrama, Upasamhara make one Shadlinga, and Upapatti makes another Shadlinga, and Abhyasa makes another Shadlinga. Arthapatya makes another Shadlinga, and Apurvam makes another Shadlinga. and prayojanam means the last Shadlinga. In this manner, there are Shadlingas. Shadlingas means there are six factors which determine as to what is the nature of the topic of Vedanta. Is it Dvaitam or Advaitam or Visishtadvaitam? Is it Dvaitam or Advaitam, Visishtadvaitam? We can't say it is Dvaitam Shadlingas. Shadlingas, they all swear, they all use the Shadlingas. All the teachers use the Shadlingas, but then they fall apart. Their use of Shadlingas is wrong, and therefore the way they use it, they happens to be wrong. And therefore, even though they use Shadlingas, but they become, some become Advaitis, some become Dvaitis, some become Visishtadvaitis. In this manner, there is a difference of opinion. And therefore, it is said, even though it is true, Shadlingas are na bhavitum. The fact does not change just because you change your thinking. Even though you may think that it's not the snake, it's not the rope, it is something else. But you may think something else, but it happens to be the rope behind the snake. The snake is a perception. It is the rope that is distorted as a snake. It is the rope that is distorted as a snake. You have the distorted vision of the snake, distorted vision of the rope as a snake. That if even if you think that it is not the rope, it doesn't cease to be the rope. It is happens to be the rope, and therefore na अन्यथा भवितुमर्हति उपक्रम उपसंहारादि लिंगैः संप्रदार्यत्वात्, because it is determined by the Shadlingas. The nature of the topic is determined by Shadlingas, six factors which determine the nature of the topic, and how it begins and how it ends. Sadeva Swamidamagrasid Ekame Vadvitiyam. That is how it begins. The sixth chapter begins with like this. The sixth chapter begins. Sat alone was there. All this universe was Sat alone. And when it came to be created, it became manifest. And therefore, even today, the objects have their source in the Sat alone. The Sat alone has become the objects. And therefore, Tat Sa Atma, that is you. Tatuttvamasi, that the what. And that is you, and that the what. That is your nature, that is your actuality, and that is you. And therefore, one doesn't have to think that one is not Advaitam. One is Advaitam, but then everything is. And the sixth chapter of Chandogya Upanishad also begins with Sat. And then at the end it says, तथा 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 सः विजिज्ञौ इति. तथा he came to know, he came to know, he came to know. Even though there are 9 times it was said, Shwetaketu came to know. Vijignau means he came to know, he came to know. He came to know, he came to know. In this manner, that Sat he came to know. Previously, it begins, that is Upakrama, Upasamhara, they coincide. And then they tally. The Upakrama Upasamhara should tally. And the Upakrama Upasamhara should tally. In every Upanishad, it tallies. Upakrama means the opening statement and the closing statement tally. Upapatti means logic. And it may not be, the logic cannot be established, cannot establish Atma. You are being Atma, it cannot establish Atma. But in order to convey the Atma, in order to correct the Anyatha Grahana, you need to use the logic. You have to, in order to convey the truth, you have to use the logic. The logic is necessary, and therefore Upapatti is there. And then Arthapatti. Arthapatti means presumption also. Arthapatti, a kind of, it is also a kind of inference. That inference logic only. Arthapatti is also a kind of logic, presumption. That is also necessary. When you see the universe, you say this kind of universe cannot come. That is a kind of a presumption. This universe cannot come without the source. And this universe, because nothing comes when you know, when you have to convert, you have to make material things, then you always require raw material. In the same manner, in order to make the pot, you require the clay. You can't make the pot from non-existence of the pot, mere absence of the from nothing. From nothing, you can't make pot. From making the pot, for making the pot, you require the material, and that is arthapatti. You presume, just as the pot has the pot maker, the material. In the same manner, this universe also should have the material, and that material is the existence. In this manner, you arthapati. And then prashamsa, arthavadaha. Arthavadaha means prashamsa. Prashamsa means arthavadaha means what it praises and what it always praises the Advaitam, it never praises the Dvaitam. It always derogates the it is derivative of Dvaitam. Dvaitam. Everybody has the Dvaitam. Everybody is living in Dvaitam, but that he is struggling. That means Dvaitam is not the topic of Vedanta. Dvaitam is not the topic of Vedanta because you are already in Dvaitam. Dvaitam is not the topic of Vedanta. When the Dvaitam is there, Dvaitam is misconception. Dvaitam is misconception. Advaitam is the answer. Advaitam is the topic of Vedanta. Advaitam is the topic of Vedanta, and therefore it is said that when Atma, if the Advaitam the Advaitam is the topic, then Advaitam alone is the topic of the that Advaitam alone that Advaitam is evident in Sushupti also. When you go to the deep sleep state, it is Advaitam. There is no object. It is unobjectifiable. You can't objectify the deep sleep state. You can only be Sushupta. You cannot objectify because there is nothing objectifiable in the Sushupti. When there is nothing objectifiable in Sushupti, from Jagrat state also you can't objectify it. And therefore you can't objectify yourself. And therefore you can't objectify the Sushupti also. And therefore the subject cannot objectify himself. The subject is unobjectifiable, and therefore that is what is called arthavadaha. It is said that mrityosam mrityumapnoti ehe nanya pashati. One goes from death to death. That is if he thinks that he is not Advaitam, if he doesn't understand that he goes from death to death if he doesn't understand Advaitam. He goes from death to death means he goes from struggle to struggle, struggle to struggle. He goes to that is Ninda. That means Dvaitam is derided. When the Dvaitam is run down, then definitely the Dvaitam is not the topic. Advaitam is the topic, and therefore, when Advaitam is the topic, Nacha वचम वाच्यम शुचितात्पर्यम तावत् पुरुषमति वैरूप्यात् न अन्यथा भवितुमर्हति उपक्रम उपसंहारादि लिंगैः तत्प्रधार्यत्वात् तत्तस्य तीर्थकर अनुयायिनः यद्यपि even though the followers of anuyayinah mean anuyayi means the followers of Tirthakara, the teachers, the various schools, the various matas, Advait Matam, Visishna Advait Matam, Dvaitam, Sri Vallabha, etc., etc. Even though they are all, everybody says that I belong to Sri Kanta Matam, I belong to Ramanuja Matam, I belong to Vijnana Bhakti Matam, I belong to Vallabha Matam, I belong to Baladev Matam. In this manner they say, Tirthakara Anuyayinaha, Yadyapi, Pratipadyante, they all have difference of opinion. The These are the followers of the various schools. The followers always they differ. They differ. They differ. They have difference of opinion. They always have difference of opinion. One follower doesn't like the another follower. Another's follower. Eh, प्रक्रियावांतर भेदेषु विप्रतिपद्यन्ते प्रक्रियावांतर भेदेषु. In the prakriya, avantar vedeshu means the secondary details of the prakriya avantar vedeshu. Even though they all have a difference of opinion, but the tathapi vidyate eva ekavakyata tesham. They all swear by opinion. They all swear by Vedanta. That is called ekavakya. They all swear by Vedanta. They all swear by Vedanta. They differ in their opinion. Some follow the Advaitam, some follow Visishta Advaitam, some follow Advaitam, but they all swear by Ekavakyata. They all swear by Vedanta Pramana. Iti Kirtakara Anuyayana Yadyapi Pratipajyante Prakriya Avantar Vedeshu Tatapi Vidyate Eva Ekavakyata Tesham Siddhanta Tattve iti. When it comes to Siddhanta Tattva, they all have Ekavakyata. They all swear by Vedanta Pramana. They all swear by Vedanta Pramana when it comes to Siddhanta Tattva. Ekavakyata Siddhanta, they all swear by Vedanta. And that swearing by Vedanta makes them Ekavakyata. But the Ekavakyata Tesham, Siddhanta Tveti. Yata Sarvopi Bhashakara. Even though the other various teachers, Bhashakara, Bhashakaraha, Bhashakara, Bhashakaraha, Shadvidlingairapi, Swasiddhantam, Smriti Purana Itihasa Brahmita, Shruti Abhimatam Manyate. Even though all of them, Shankara, Bhaskara, Advaita, Visishta Advaita, Madhva, Ramanuja, all of them, Srikanta, Vallabha, all of them, even though that list has been given, all of them swear by, they all go by Shadlingas. They use Shadlingas for their own bhashya. They all have written bhashya. Sri Vallabha Bhashya, Ramanuja Bhashya, Sri Bhashya, Madhva Bhashya. Like this, everybody has written a bhashya. And that bhashya, regarding that bhashya is written only by using the Shadlingas. Without using the Shadlingas, you can't write the bhashya. You have to use the Shadlingas. Ne Kalvapi Swasiddhantam. And then Itihasa Purana, they become big. Itihasa Purana, Itihasa. Brahmita Shruti Abhimatam Manyate. Shruti Abhimatam. This is Itihasa. This is exactly the topic of Itihasa. This is the topic of Puranas. This is the topic of Shruti. This is the topic of the Shruti. This is the topic of the Smriti. This is the topic of Upabrahma, all Brahma Sutras. In this manner, they talk about. Ramanuja says, this is the topic, the Visishta Advaitam is the topic, and Advaitam is the topic, Madhva says. Shankaracharya says, Advaitam is the topic of Vedanta. In this manner, they have difference of opinion. In this manner, they say, Vinaya Kalvapi Swasiddhante, Yadyapi Ekakanta Ravaha iti Ekakanta. Even though the Vinaya, the students of the Vinaya means not the followers, the direct students. Vinaya, the direct students of them. Even though they say they talk about, if they're all of the same teacher, they're all Ekaravaha. They all say we're all the students of so and so Swami, so and so teacher, etc. But then Ekkantaravaha. They although they have difference of, they have no difference of opinion. But when it comes to something else is said, some other thing is said, then they all fall apart. Even though they are the students of Vedanta, they are the students of the same teacher Vinaya. But when it comes to When you introduce some another paksha, another opinion, bhavantiti katamaya prakriya naim prasiddhyati, and they don't accept. Svetara prakriya siddhanta naim prasiddhyati iti paraspara dosha udbhavana vigraha. And they become they become independent, they become each other, they show each other's fallacies. They show each other's fallacies, doshas. They show each other's doshas. When you bring in another opinion, they don't accept another opinion. In this manner, they fight among themselves. And therefore, Siddhanta Naya Prasiddhiti iti Paraspara Dosha Udbhavan Vyagraha Bhavanti iti Katamaya Prakriya. And therefore, which Siddhantam should we accept? Which Siddhantam, as the Siddhantam, which is the topic of Vedanta? Is it Dvaitam or Advaitam or Visishtadvaitam? Which is the Dvaitam? All of them are only three Trimatacharyas. Advaitam, Visishtadvaitam, Dvaitam. Which is the topic of Vedanta. Even though they all swear by Vedanta, they all swear by Shadlingas, but still there is a difference of opinion. And if they have difference of opinion, such great scholars, Sanskrit knowing scholars, if they have difference of opinion, then it is necessary for us to determine as to what is the topic of Vedanta. We have to use Shadlingas correctly. They may not use correctly, but we have to use correctly. What is the time, please? 37. We have to use correctly. They may not use correctly, but we have to use correctly. And the more of it we will see in the next class. Thank you very much. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasa Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Ji. And then we are going to have the next class from my house, only online classes. I won't be coming here. It will be 21st of June. We are going to have it in 21st of June, online classes only. I won't be coming to Ramana Kendra. It is going to be very hot in June. It is going to be very hot, and therefore you can listen to from your own houses. Thank you very much. And 3rd July, there will be Guru Purnima, and that Guru Purnima day we will come to Ramana Kendra, and that Ramana Kendra we will come and we will repeat as last year. We repeat Guru Stotram, and then some small short talk, and then afterwards you can all go. There will be prasad distribution. There will be no classes from here on. From Monday onwards, there will be no classes here. Please don't come anywhere near Ramana Kendra. Anywhere near Ramana Kendra. Ramana Kendra, if you come, you won't find me there. You will not find me there. You will find me only at home. You will find me at home only, because we are going to have the online classes. There will be only online classes only from 21st of June. Thank you very much. Please, thank you very much. GMG.